If you're a rock and roll fan, you already know Stewart Copeland. Drumming legend Copeland, Andy Summers, and a guy named Sting romped to global stardom as the Police in the 1970s. So we were intrigued to learn that Copeland had teamed up with celebrated naturalist Martyn Stewart for a pioneering album, sharing the limelight not with Sting, but with hyenas, owls, and howler monkeys. Called Wild Concerto, the album is based on Martyn Stewart's life work, an extraordinary collection of audio recordings of the world's living creatures. Some are now extinct or endangered, making Wild Concerto as much a manifesto as a music album. We had to hear more. There's really only one way to start the day at the world's most famous recording studio.
Martyn, in the flesh at last.
How are you? Stewart.
So great to see you. We've been so deep into our mission here.
Martyn Stewart, Stewart Copeland. This unlikely pair, the quiet naturalist and the intrepid rock star,
I hope you have fun with this music.
were here at Abbey Road to turn animal sounds into a concerto, here in the same studio the Fab Four made famous. No pressure.
Unbelievable. The history in here is just...
Imagine McCartney running up and down those stairs. This almost makes us Beatles.
But today, it's the animal kingdom that gets its shot at stardom. It's superstar time for the wrens, bears, frogs, and hundreds more.
That's the kookaburra.
While the humans play backup.
That's the wonga pigeon.
Even better, we're good.
Brilliant. Let's move on.
Wild Concerto is a groundbreaking album based on the unmatched audio archive of Martyn Stewart. He's crisscrossed the planet for decades, collecting nearly 100,000 recordings of its wild inhabitants. Stewart Copeland wrote the music.
When you send me your original raw samples,
All he had to do was wade through 30,000 hours of field recordings to choose which animals would get the star treatment. The screaming pia was a natural.
there is the bird in question. Here is the orchestral version of that bird.
It's just brilliant.
Copeland told us it was the raw sounds of the animals themselves that dictated what instruments he chose. Take this tune by some Arctic wolves.
First of all, we have the wolves on their own. Beautiful, right?
Still makes my hair stand on end.
Okay, let's hear that with the orchestra. That's a trombone with the wolves. They're not actual notes, but you put an instrument with them, and those animals become Pavarotti.
In the recording studio, the wolves howled into the musicians' headsets.
Yep, we got it. I'm gonna come out there, kiss and hug every single one of you. So pucker up, babies. Thank you so much, everybody. You rock!
Copeland should know. You may remember his rock star days when he wielded drumsticks as if they were lethal weapons. As one-third of the Police, Copeland banged his way to the upper reaches of pop stardom.
Every breath you take,
The Police sold more than 75 million records.
every vow you
Singing along yet?
Roxanne.
By 1986, the party was over. The police were busted.
You don't ever wanna see me again.
But it didn't take long before Copeland's propulsive drumming landed him a new gig and put him on a glide path to becoming a composer.
How did that happen?
I blame Francis Coppola.
It's his fault. You blame him.
Yes. His thing is to find the talent and give him rope. And he got a drummer from a rock band and hired me to score his movie because his concept was it's all about rhythm.
This is Rumblefish?
This is Rumblefish.
Copeland told us he knew nothing about film scores, but he knew rhythm. So he arranged barking dogs, clacking billiard balls, and pile drivers in rhythmic loops, making music for what he called found sound.
For horror films, this here is very useful.
More movies followed. Then he started writing classical music.
This here, it's for an opera that I did with the Deutsche National Theater in Germany.
Copeland told us he'd found a new love.
Because the main thing you want to do as a composer is create parts that are fun to play.
As he showed us around his Los Angeles studio stuffed with instruments. He says he noodles around on them all when he's composing. The drummer, who had never followed a sheet of music, had become a maestro.
You loved the drums right from the start. The power. What is it about the orchestra you love so much?
It's the beauty. You know, my daddy raised me to be a jazz musician. Meanwhile, just quietly, my mother was playing Stravinsky, Ravel, Debussy, and that hit me emotionally. Now I've got dun 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 wah, and I've got, like, in one ear I got Jimi Hendrix, and the other ear I've got Igor Stravinsky. And so they've always both kind of been there, interacting in my brain.
We will hear these sounds in Wild Concerto.
Yeah, as well as all these.
And these. A world away, different music was pouring into the ears of Martyn Stewart. He's been eavesdropping on nature now for more than 60 years. It started when he was 11. Armed with a tape recorder, he'd escaped to the Bluebell Woods near his home in Middle England. His first recordings, this Eurasian blackbird. What started as a boyhood lark became a career with a mission.
I always believe the reason I'm on this planet is to fight for the animals and the environment. And it's kind of my rent for being here. I feel empowered to kind of give that message.
And what is that message?
We're losing some of the most precious species on Earth. I can go back to places that have been monitored over a period of 20 years, and the change is significant. And audio's done that. Audio is the barometer of the planet. If you want to know the health of the stream or the river, the dipper will tell you. The frog will tell you the health of the marsh. And the birds will tell you the health of the planet.
At home in Florida, Stewart told us he still takes his microphone out every day, like a doctor with a stethoscope.
Watch the spiders, Bill.
He listens to the rhythms of the natural world.
I hear that white noise of the ocean. The cicada.
These days, he's deeply worried about a catastrophic decline in wildlife populations around the world. Stewart has the last known recording of the golden Panamanian frog, here in its digital form. The northern white rhino is also extinct in the wild. Other recordings give no hint of the danger he overcame to get them. Here's a howler monkey spoiling for a fight. And the crocodile that swallowed one of his microphones.
We have the hyenas here.
Stewart Copeland told us his favorite animal was the hyena, a rare recording from the Skeleton Coast in Namibia.
Well, they have a very wide vocabulary. They make loving sounds, they make aggressive sounds.
How does the loving sound sound like? That's interesting.
In fact, I'll share with you that my wife and I have adopted the hyena love sounds as a part of our relationship. Little kinky, but works. And then they have the laughing hyena. They actually do.
No surprise, the hyenas got their own cut on Wild Concerto.
How did you come up with a composition that enhanced the sound of the hyenas?
I've asked the Lord above that question many times.
And what did he say?
He said, I don't know, just see if you can make a living out of it.
Just be you. This is just magic. It's magical.
Martyn Stewart told us working at Abbey Road was a revelation. He's used to being alone in wild spaces at the ends of the earth. So we wondered what had made Stewart share his life work with a rock star. What made you decide to do that?
I'm living with cancer. It's hard to talk about that stuff, Bill. But I got ill. And my niece Amanda, who works at the BBC, and she said, we have to preserve your archive. You need people to see what you have.
Stewart told us his illness is not the only crisis he's dealing with. He fears more animals are facing extinction as the world keeps growing. Part of his audio archive has become a mausoleum to past lives.
If we keep stealing from nature, then the inevitable is going to happen. We're going to lose a lot more.
What is the inevitable?
Mass extinction. When you think about what we've lost in my lifetime, there's no change.
It's not slowing down.
And I don't know how to slow it down. But if you show people the beauty of something and get them to fall in love with that, maybe we can tip something.
He says he hopes Wild Concerto will draw in those who wouldn't otherwise listen to a screaming pia or a go-away bird. Count Copeland among the converted.
Okay, what's the walla 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 walla? Here we go. What's that? Walla 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 walla.
Which is the marbled frog mouth.
Marbled frog mouth. I remember that.
Copeland told us he hopes Wild Concerto will immortalize those animal songs, a human tribute, a heartfelt elegy to Mother Nature's orchestra.
Take a tour through Stewart Copeland's studio
Sting gave me this little guitar here.
at 60minutesovertime.com.